Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be doing a morning sip talking about War of the Visions specifically. We're going to be talking about Cecil. We're going to be talking about Final Fantasy IV, and kind of everything that's going on right now, all of the revisions, all of the changes, and where I'm kind of at with all of it, because there's a lot of swirl in the community, and I think trying to approach this with a level head is probably the best way to go. So let's go ahead and dig in. So for the most part, I actually think the Final Fantasy IV event and patch / update this week was incredible. And I think a lot of people, even though they're frustrated with a lot of things, I think people aren't seeing kind of what they added to the game. And I think that's important. They added elemental missions. They brought ×3 speed early. They, kind of brought this content into the game that's relatively exciting. They brought bundles that were reduced cost, right? They've added enhanced daily purchase bonuses. Like, there's a lot of things that they've nailed and done really well, right? Hard quests for Crystal Warriors. Even, going so far as to say in general, over the last couple of months, having different banners that they haven't had on JP, such as the Elena banner for 100 cost units, is actually a boon and a good thing. So I want to start off saying, there's a lot of swirl in the community right now. And I actually think that there have been a lot of really good things done for the game. And I actually think this update in particular was pretty good. I think where they kind of let the community down was with Cecil. And that's, understandable. I think it's really clear that Cecil probably should have been free for everybody. In Hawaii, they have a saying, if you've ever been to the North Shore, called "keep the country," right? And what that means is, you kind of keep things the way it is. You don't change things, because when you change things, that's the way people get upset about, right? You don't bring in hotels and all of that on the north side. And I think for Cecil, really the more the lesson is, free should be free, right? Since Cecil was free the first time, he's going to be free the second time. 100% that's the way it should be. And I think, that's a big blunder. And I think, for all of the good things that they're doing, they take 3 steps forward and they're kind of taking 2 steps back. But, besides that, I think there is some element of confusion. I don't think it's intentional confusion. Maybe it is. But I think there's some type of confusion with the banners in Global. And I'm not sure what's going on with the banners in Global. I think there's something wrong. And I've thought this for a while now. But it doesn't make sense for a 9-step to be released, for the paid banner to give coins if you're not going to have a coin pity, right? And the Elena summon system works really good, if you don't have a coin pity, right? If you're doing a 100 cost unit, the Elena pull system, not the worst in the world, right? You could argue at some points that it actually saves users some money, or is about equivalent to the old system. Where it gets confusing is when we suddenly have, sometimes a unit is pitied with coins, sometimes a unit is pitied with the Elena banner. And when things are confusing in that JP had a coin pity, right? And then GL doesn't have a coin pity, but we have all of these coin banners. But then we have the GL exclusive banner, which is the Elena banner, right? With all of the different units on different banners. There's just something that doesn't quite add up to this. Maybe an Elena banner with all 4 of the units on it, or maybe a paid bundle with potentially a level 99 unit, right, being released for Final Fantasy IV, and getting their level 99 form would have been appropriate and good. I'm not sure what the solution to all of this is, but what I can say is there does seem to be some type of confusion, some type of miscommunication on Gumi's side, where they talk about the banners, right? Where the banners are not adding up to really what you would expect. They don't complement each other, essentially. And for a while, that worked really well, right? We had we had a coin pity always, we had the standard banner, and we could pull on the 9-step get weed, we could pull on potentially the paid banner if you had some paid Visior, and you were able to coin pity a unit relatively easily. But something changed along the way, and I've talked about this a few times, but it's almost like a different person is in charge of marketing to global. Whether or not it's someone who they changed their marketing technique, or they decided on GL, this is how we're going to do this. Wherever that person is, whatever they're doing, they're not kind of synergizing the banners. And I think a great example of this is actually the June banner that just came out. I think we're seeing changes like Golbez and June have both been available on like a 5 UR poll, which have been really good. But then we're also seeing changes that don't make sense, right? Like the June coin pull, which was really weird, where if you pulled on the June banner, you got Crystal Warrior coins. That's really great. That was exciting because potentially it was a 54-day event and you could use those coins towards Setia. So people who had been planning for Setia, or maybe used some of the discounted pulls on June, like I had, who maybe had coins in reserve, down the road could have used it to either pity Setia or to pull Setia. And then all of a sudden they changed that from 54 days to now there's like 4 or 5 days left on the June banner right now. And it just doesn't fully make sense, right? And this kind of coincides with a lot of the things we're seeing with notices being released. I'm making news videos, and news videos are literally, by the time my news video airs and I'm asleep overnight, the news has completely changed or been edited. It's literally like Oron J and I will make our news videos on the news that's come out, and the news will change so rapidly, almost in response to our videos, it feels like, that we wake up and things are completely different, right? And there's almost this chaotic air around the game right now in terms of, what's going on? Where's the management of the game? Where is the, concise decision-making process that we would expect? So I think a lot of the criticism, that's getting angry at Gumi for, Cecil not being free, or a lot of the criticism that's going out there for, the banners, I think it's less about decisions Gumi's making intentionally. It feels more like mismanagement to me. It feels like there is somebody who's supposed to be overseeing this. There's somebody who needs to be making these decisions, and they're not making the right decisions, or they don't have all the information they need, or they don't have all the training that they need, right? That's what it feels like when I look at this, because you see, like, games like this, they have multiple departments and they have people who are heading it and viewing it. Clearly some people are doing things right, bringing ×3 speed early, bringing elemental missions, right? Like, these things are being awesome, right? Crystal Warrior, another story is coming out. That's been really good, right? The story for that, as opposed to the main story, has been great. Like, there's a lot of good things coming out for War of the Visions, but it's almost like there's one department, one person, one area that is focused on, news, on notices, on getting updates out that is not up to speed. It comes down to a management problem, I think. And, I think screaming and raging and getting upset is probably not going to solve the problem. I think, when we are directing our anger and we are thinking about, who to hold responsible, it's, at the end of the day, it would have to be Hiroki, right? Like, we would have to, instead of, asking for, potentially a change in GL's execution, right? Or yelling and screaming on Reddit, you should try and hold Hiroki accountable, right? He's the producer. He's the one who's in charge of the game. That would kind of be the direction to go. And, he's doing a lot of things right, but then a lot of this is being mismanaged. So maybe it's a department error. Maybe he needs to get on top of a certain section. But I don't think War of the Visions as a whole is, completely going down the wrong direction, completely terrible right now. I literally think what we're seeing currently is mismanagement. And I think a lot of the anger that people are expressing is not targeted anger. It's just I'm going to be angry for the sake of being angry, which is fine. But I think, we need to take a step back, look at what War of the Visions is doing right, take a look at what War of the Visions is doing wrong, and kind of think about, from a business perspective, right? From Gumi's perspective, why are these things happening? Is it intentional? Is it not intentional? And the question should be, does intention matter? And that's, something probably to think about. That's like a title of a thumbnail right there. Does intention matter? And I would argue it does, right? Because we see the changes to the notices, we see the updates as soon as mine and Oron's news videos go out, right? Like, it's obvious that their intention is to do the right thing. And hopefully they'll do the right thing with Cecil. I don't know that they will, but hopefully they do. And hopefully, they learn from this and the game becomes even better, because it is, a pretty good game. And it's been steadily improving, which I think has been great. Gosh, that was I talked for a long time there. Yeah, I feel like that's all I have to say on the subject. Hopefully, I'm not dragging you guys too negative. I'm hoping to just kind of look at it from a really neutral perspective. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys next time.